What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Patrick from wpbuilderhelper, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the actual page builders themselves. I want to do like an end-of-year review, and I want to talk about some other stuff while we're on the subject, just to take and clear some air of some things that I need to take and deal with before the end of the year. So let's get started. So first off, let's start with the basics. I haven't been on here a lot. I kind of took a break. I got a little bit sick towards the end of November. It wasn't COVID, but I had a monstrous sinus infection that took me out for like almost a full month, and it was a pain in the butt to deal with. And so it was hard to both record and try and feel better during that time and do everything else in life. So that's why the videos have kind of slowed towards the end of the year. With that said, I'm pretty dedicated for 2022. I'm ready to start off with a kind of fresh slate and start doing some interesting stuff. I had a lot of failures this year, but I also had a lot of things that I did well that I enjoyed. And so I still enjoy this channel. I'm coming back, don't worry. But I wanted to take and put this out here just so that you guys knew that that was going on. It's the channel's not dying. I've actually had several people contact me who want me to guest star on podcast episodes and all kinds of live interviews and things like that, which is kind of nice. It's nice that people are reaching out and they're wanting to talk to me about my knowledge with page builders and everything like that. So that's an awesome thing. And I want to continue to grow WP Builder Helper to kind of help you guys so that you can transition through doing whatever you're doing so that you can hear the facts. I mean, every day I get contacted by people who say, hey, you were right. You mentioned something and this is exactly what's going on. And sometimes I find out dirty truths about companies behind the scene from other people who mention stuff like, hey, did you see this on Facebook, or did you see this on Twitter, or did you see this? So I want to thank you guys. I want to thank the audience, because without you guys, this channel wouldn't be anything. It's not a very big channel, but I appreciate every single one of you. So with that said, let's get started on the end of year review. All right, so the purpose of this is to actually kind of in rapid fire succession go over what I think each and every one of these page builders are going to do in the upcoming year. Keep in mind, this isn't all the page builders, but to me, these are some of the more important page builders. And I want to state some facts at why I think things are happening the way they're happening. First off, I have to say I was a little bit wrong about something, and that is, obviously Elementor won on the Monster Awards, which we'll talk about at the very end of this video, but they won like Best Page Builder of the Year. However, that wasn't what I was wrong about. What I was wrong about was actually how popular Divi was, because I guess for some reason I thought Divi was way more popular than what it was. It's still a popular page builder. It's been around for some time, but surprisingly enough, Oxygen took second place, which tells me that Oxygen is only gaining ground. And so we all knew Elementor is the king right now, right? What I was surprised by was the fact that Oxygen took second place, because to me, that's a clear sign that Oxygen is only building momentum. And while I don't know if it's ever going to be like the mainstream builder that Elementor is or anything like that, it was definitely interesting to see that the awards, in these awards, that it had won. And so it kind of shocked me. It threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, how did Oxygen take second place? And it makes sense when you're a user of Oxygen, because you know what it does. You know how powerful it is. And to sit there and see that take second place, I think was a gigantic clap for Oxygen. So I would say that, it was interesting. I knew that Elementor was going to take it, because even though Elementor's pricing is garbage, it's a dumpster fire, I think that they're still, for the most part, they're one of the easiest builders to probably use right now. And so because of that, they're the closest thing in terms of like just dragging and dropping and just doing stuff. They're the closest thing to taking and building something from scratch that's similar to like a Squarespace or something like that. It's just like the easiest way to explain it. Like, you almost don't have to think with Elementor. And that's part of the issue that it has to me, is that it's almost too easy, because there's a lot of different things that I just, it is what it is. It's number one, so I'm not gonna, shit on it too bad. I mean, it obviously made it to number one. A lot of people obviously still continue to enjoy it. It's still the king of the hill right now. The more surprising thing was Divi. Divi has made some strides to take and make its builder way, way better. I still think to this point that Divi's in the same spot that Oxygen is. From my perspective, Divi needs a new UI refresh. It needs a better UI refresh, because when you get inside of it, it feels clunky. It feels hard to use inside. Now, to me, it's just as powerful as Elementor or even Oxygen, because they've literally thrown everything at Divi, and it has everything. And some of the newer updates have surprised me. But in 2022, I expect Divi to grow a lot more. I really do. I think that Divi's on the right track. The last few updates that they put out, I've been really pleased with. And I'm interested to see them starting to put out more of these optimization updates and make their builder faster. Because at the end of the day, the chance to take and get to Gutenberg and to beat Gutenberg is very, very short. They have a short window of opportunity. If page builders don't start proving themselves as reliable tools for web designers, then you're going to run into some problems later on when Gutenberg comes out with full site editing. That's just the truth. I mean, page builders themselves could totally die off. And I've already kind of seen that from the Facebook forums and Facebook groups, as people are slowly starting to move to more of a Gutenberg building experience and less of a page builder, However, with that said, I think Divi's been doing really good lately. I've been really impressed with their updates, so I can't wait to see what they come out with in 2022. This is going to be the thing to beat, though. Oxygen is at a proverbial tipping point right now. If Oxygen comes out with a UI refresh, which is one of the things that everybody's been saying, and it is good, it's a good UI refresh, it tips Oxygen over the edge, and it starts taking over Elementor in terms of the number of people that jump over to it. If they can fix the slow loading time of the builder, and they can fix the UI and just make it snappier and make it look pretty and just make it look really nice and make the experience of building a website a much better experience, Oxygen's going to start taking the lead. They're doing really, really good, really well right now. And I totally think that Oxygen's going to come out ahead. When version 4.0 drops, you can expect I will be covering it. I expect to see Oxygen doing some incredible things with 4.0. They're going to have a lot of different things coming out, and I can't wait. I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what they do, and I think it's definitely going to be a contender in the future. Brizzy's in a weird place right now. They're trying to do so many things that I don't know. For the record, I still love Brizzy. It's one of my favorite builders that's out there, just because it's been so refreshing to use. It's such a refreshing and easy builder to use. But it's weird. They recently changed their cloud pricing, and it's not bad. I actually subscribe to their cloud pricing. I like their cloud pricing, even though I don't use it probably as much as other people. But their cloud pricing, there was a lot this year that happened to Brizzy that just, I don't know, it threw a lot of people off, and their cloud pricing was one of them. If you're someone who's buying into this, I don't know where this fits. Like, their cloud pricing, the pricing went up so fast. And if you continue to pay for it, they kind of have this locked in pricing right now. If you continue to pay for it and you're a longtime user, then you get it for a different price than everyone else gets it. I don't think their price is bad based upon what they're offering. I think it's pretty good. Even with everything that they're offering, I think their cloud pricing is pretty good. I think their WordPress platform is weak. I've already said this before in another thing. Brizzy is not going to last long with this. They're not. As a matter of fact, 500 pro licenses, I've already had this argument before, but the fact that they're putting so little pro licenses when there's other builders out there that are existing that are like Oxygen and Bricks who have moved to unlimited licenses, it just doesn't make any sense. Right now, basically, if you're not Elementor, you don't do 500 licenses. You don't do 1,000 licenses. You do unlimited licenses. Because even though it's going to cost you more as a developer because you're going to have more pirates and things like that you're going to have to fight against, at the end of the day, it makes people feel better. It gives them a warm and fuzzy feeling. We recently saw this change with Bricks, and I think it was a good change with Bricks because honestly, a license once again doesn't cost you anything. It really doesn't. You could change this to 750 and it wouldn't make a difference. It makes no difference if it's not hosted on your platform and it's hosted somewhere else. It makes absolutely no difference. One license does not cost you one single penny of money. It actually costs you more money to take and lower your licenses because people look at it as a lesser value. And so that's where I think Brizzy is having a struggle right now with pricing, and I really hope they get sorted. I still think, for the record, their cloud is decent. I don't think Brizzy WordPress is going to be around forever. I just don't. It may be, and maybe they continue to update it and they continue, but when we get to the end of this video, you're going to see what I'm talking about, and I just want to point it out and you'll just see. So then we move to Bricks. Now, Bricks is another builder that's doing some incredible stuff. It's brand new, so it's hard to really gauge it for what's going on. But I mean, look, they just moved to unlimited sites, and they've got some good things. The UI is way better than Oxygen in terms of this. In another year, this could be competing with Oxygen. And as a matter of fact, this could very well, to me, when you get inside of Bricks, it feels just as good to build with as Brizzy, in my opinion. It's the layout is clean. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to navigate. It's easy to change things. There's only a few things that they need to go through and tweak. And I shouldn't say a few. There's a lot of things that they need to add. But I think that they're getting there. They just haven't gotten there yet. And so for me, it's just a waiting game with Bricks. I think it's going to come across as this kind of unknown builder that's going to grow, but it's going to take some time to get there. It just hasn't got there, and it's not going to get there overnight. Live Canvas. So Live Canvas just recently put out a 2.2. I still like Live Canvas. I think as a developer or anyone who wants to write hand-coded CSS and stuff like that in HTML, I think this is the builder of choice for those people. You could ultimately say that you could do it with Oxygen also, but this thing is just so lean. In the page speed test that I've run, Live Canvas is just so incredibly fast that it puts out faster numbers than even something like Cadence, which is a Gutenberg builder, because it's so light and lean. I mean, Live Canvas, it's a pleasure to work with. I'm glad that they're building out some things. There's some menu items that need a UI refresh. There's some things I think that they need to change, but for the most part, it's coming along really, really nicely, and I can't wait to see what other things they added. I definitely think that they needed more templates, so I'm happy to see that they've added that in and that you've got some pre-built templates that you can kind of run with. Interested just to see where they go with that. On the same note, Zion Builder. This builder is a builder that came out this year, and a lot of people kind of jumped on it because, once again, it's an unlimited deal that they were offering. But Zion Builder is another builder that you can't take and not look at. They've got certain things that they've already done, that they've already put in place that other builders haven't, but yet certain other builders are a little bit more popular than them. It just depends. But Zion Builder's pretty good. There's a lot of things that they've done that I think are similar to Elementor, and there's things that they've done that are similar to Oxygen. They've taken some of the UI from both of these and kind of mix and matched them. So it's very interested to see what they've done. I think it's good. I'm just curious as to where the adoption rate is going to fall. I just don't know where it's going to fall, and that's going to be the most interesting thing with Zion Builder. Finally, at the very end, we get to the Monster Awards, and I'm not going to go over each and every one of these, but needless to say, this is the Template Monster Awards. So what this is an epic battle where a bunch of people basically, they come up with, what they think are the best plugins for WordPress. This is by no means a solid way of judging things or the market or anything like that, but I think it's interesting to take a look at it and point out some things. So let's first go into Gutenberg. I think it's interesting that Elementor gets its own category, I guess because it's at the top and there's so many other plugins that support Elementor, but I think it's interesting that they get their own category. So here's what I thought was interesting about this that just blew me away. And, generate blocks. So I've covered almost all of these. I don't think I've covered Otter blocks. There's a couple of these blocks I've never covered. But what I think is interesting is Cadence only got a 7% vote out of Stackable. Stackable is just killing it with their brand new update with the 3.0. They're just killing it in terms of block competitors. They're doing really, really well. Their licensing and everything, they've changed everything up. They've made everything better. It's interesting that Cadence, to me, falls behind Jet plugins and Elementor blocks for Gutenberg. Like, it's just weird. Like, I would expect Cadence to be higher, but it just wasn't. It was actually quite low on the totem pole. And I'm actually surprised because Cadence has been for a while the block to beat. But as you can see, Stackable kind of won this block contest. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. It's interesting. I know Stackable is really good. It's not that interests me. It's the fact that it won, and it won by such a large margin over Cadence. So here we go with this. This is what blows me away a little bit more. So here are the builders. And actually, if you look at these votes, Elementor and Oxygen were almost neck and neck. I don't even know what this is. I've never even looked at it. Obviously, I'm going to have to look at it because it ranked number 3. And then Gutenberg's number 4. But look at the margin between these. I mean, it was just really interesting. And I want to point out, once again, this isn't real data, so you can't use this. But look at this. Brizzy, Zion, Beaver Builder, they're all 1. Even Visual Composer, Nimble Builder, WP Bakery, Themify, Aveda, all of these builders, 1%, 0%. And then you've got Bricks, Divi, Gutenberg, and all this. So what does this tell me? This tells me that most of the people who are going on the web are looking at Divi, they're looking at Bricks, they're looking at Gutenberg, but very few people are actually looking at Brizzy. Very few people are actually looking at Zion. That's a shame because they are such good builders, and I think that they just don't get enough press for what they do. But if I were one of these people building these and I were a developer of them, I would say we've got some ground to make up, because if we're only getting 1% and these guys are getting 13, I mean, you could say it's an unfair advantage. Maybe there was some rigging that was going on. I don't know what the criteria was used for Template Monster, but I got to think that, it was fair enough. So it's just interesting to me that it was so close, but it's also interesting that Brizzy and Zion and Beaver Builder, which I've known for a long time, and they have Themify. They don't even have some of the other, like Thrive Architect. I mean, those builders just they're not even on the scale. You can't even put them in the same category as like Elementor or Oxygen or even Gutenberg. They just don't even get close. They're not even close. They're not even on people's radars. People aren't searching them. They don't care about them. That's one of the things that you run into. So if you're one of the 1% still using Beaver Builder, good for you, but I don't know how you're doing it, because there's a lot of other builders out there which are much, much better. And it seems to me like most people are upgrading. I think Gutenberg's going to slowly take over. I think next year it becomes a lot closer to the 3rd place than it is currently. Once full site editing goes live, I mean, it's going to totally change things. And then finally, we look at the themes, because I just wanted to look at the themes. And I thought it was interesting. Bloxy beat out Hello Elementor. and that is it's amazing. I mean, Bloxy's theme has been amazing for a long time. I've been so happy that I actually have a license for it, and I just think it's going to continue to get better. I'm very interested to see when they come out with their block content. I'm going to be covering that nonstop. But congratulations to Bloxy for winning this. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. It's just kind of like an overall view of what's going on in the landscape. If you're somebody who's maybe wondering, or you're wondering what's good or what's not good that's out in the market, now you have an idea. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to probably make another video before the year's end, and then that's going to be my last video before the end of the year. And then we're going to start off fresh in the new year and see what comes out. All right. So I can't wait for you guys to see the comment coming, and I will see you guys next time.